The very comfort you spend your entire life chasing is the exact cage that is quietly dissecting your soul. Every soft mattress, every climate-controlled room, and every instant gratification loop you seek is actually a slow, painless lobotomy of your character. You are actively treating your only life as a rehearsal for a coffin. To survive the storm, you must first learn to love the wind. We must tear down the illusion that safety is your ally, and instead look directly into the ancient, uncompromising mirror of Stoic philosophy to realize that true peace is only forged in the fires of deliberate, voluntary struggle. By intentionally introducing friction into your daily existence, you will transform your mind from a fragile glass ornament into an unbreakable shield. This is not about self-punishment. It is about reclaiming the sovereign territory of your own mind. Today, you will discover how the ancient concept of voluntary discomfort can become your ultimate weapon against the anxieties of the modern world. To understand how this operates, we must travel back nearly 2,000 years to the heart of the Roman Empire, into the chambers of a man who possessed unimaginable wealth. Seneca was an advisor to emperors, a brilliant playwright, and a man of immense financial power. He sat upon a fortune that could buy entire cities. Yet, if you were to walk into his estates during certain periods of the month, you would not find him draped in purple silk, drinking fine wines, or lounging in marble baths. Instead, you would find him sitting on a bare, cold floor, wearing a coarse, scratchy wool cloak, eating nothing but dry, stale bread, and drinking lukewarm water from a cracked clay cup. Seneca knew that luxury is a beautiful thief. It steals your strength while making you believe it is serving you. He understood that the more things a person needs to feel secure, the more vulnerable they become to the whims of fate. In his famous letter 18 to his friend Lucilius, Seneca wrote with absolute clarity, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" This was not a symbolic gesture, it was a survival protocol. Seneca recognized that the fear of losing his wealth and status was a form of psychological torture that made him weak in the face of political tyranny. By living like a beggar for a few days every month, he stripped that fear of its power. He looked his worst-case scenario directly in the face and discovered that it was not his executioner, but merely an uncomfortable bed. He realized that the human spirit can adapt to almost any hardship, provided it does not lose its inner resolve. Consider the sheer contrast between this ancient discipline and our current existence. We live in an era where the slightest drop in temperature, a brief delay in our morning commute, or a temporary disruption in our digital connectivity is treated as a major catastrophe. We have built a world of total convenience, but in doing so, we have built a prison of total fragility. Look around at the world we have constructed. We have eliminated almost every form of physical friction from our daily lives. We can order food with a single tap, adjust the temperature of our homes with a voice command, and instantly escape our own thoughts by scrolling through an endless stream of digital noise. We are the most comfortable humans to have ever walked the earth, and yet we are also the most anxious, depressed, and easily broken. Why? Because when you protect your muscles from ever lifting weight, they atrophy. When you protect your mind from ever facing discomfort, your tolerance for reality shrinks to nothing. You become a prisoner of your own preferences. A delayed flight becomes a tragedy. A slow internet connection becomes an outrage. A critical comment from a coworker ruins your entire week. You have outsourced your peace of mind to external conditions that you can never truly control. This is the dopamine trap, the endless chase for the next hit of convenience that only leaves you more dependent, more hollow, and more terrified of the dark. Who are you when the screen goes black? You are decaying. You believe you are protecting yourself by avoiding hardship, but you are actually guaranteeing your own destruction. When you insulate yourself from all discomfort, you make yourself completely vulnerable to the inevitable tragedies of life. Death, loss, illness, and financial ruin do not care how comfortable your mattress is. They will strike without warning. If you have never practiced standing firm in the face of minor friction, how will you survive when the true storm arrives? The before-after transformation of a person who embraces voluntary discomfort is absolute. Before, they are a leaf blown about by every passing breeze, constantly anxious about what might go wrong, desperately trying to manipulate the world to keep themselves safe. After, they are a mountain. The wind blows, the rain falls, but the mountain remains unmoved. They look at hardship not as a threat, but as an opportunity to test their mettle. They stop asking the world to be soft, and they start making their mind hard. Imagine the absolute freedom of knowing that even if you lost everything tomorrow, you would still be entirely whole. You would look at the cold floor and the simple food and realize you have already mastered them. Now, let us move from theory to execution. How do you implement this ancient mental toughness in a world designed to keep you sedated? There are 3 distinct, practical exercises you can begin practicing today to build an iron mind. First, you must undertake the 3-day scarcity, which is the modern equivalent of Seneca's practice. For 3 consecutive days, you will strip away all non-essential comforts. You will put your phone into a drawer and only use it for absolute emergencies. No social media, no video streaming, no podcasts playing in the background while you complete basic tasks. You will take only cold showers, sleep on the floor with a single blanket, and eat only basic, unseasoned whole foods like rice and beans. This is not about starvation. It is about resetting your dopamine baseline. When you deny yourself the constant flood of cheap neurological rewards, your brain begins to heal. You will discover that a glass of plain water tastes sweet, that a hard floor can support your spine perfectly, and that the silence you have been running from is actually a sanctuary. You will realize that 90% of what you thought you needed to survive is actually just clutter dragging you down. The second practice is Premeditatio Malorum, the premeditation of evils, which was used extensively by Marcus Aurelius. Every morning, before you touch your phone or step into the rush of the day, spend 5 minutes in silence. Do not close your eyes to visualize success, visualize failure. See your projects falling apart, hear the critical words of your critics, feel the sudden sting of unexpected loss, and contemplate your own mortality. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote in his Meditations, Book 2, Section 1, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." By mentally rehearsing these challenges, you strip them of the element of surprise. When an obstacle inevitably appears during your day, you will not react with shock or panic. Your mind will recognize it instantly and think, yes, I have already met you this morning. You have already bled in training, so you do not bleed in battle. The third practice is the physicalization of Amor Fati, the love of fate, which Marcus Aurelius described as a fire that consumes everything thrown into it and uses it to grow brighter. When you experience physical discomfort, whether it is a freezing wind on your face, a grueling physical workout, or the hunger of a long fast, do not curse the moment. Instead, lean into it. Tell yourself that this exact moment of friction is the precise fuel your soul requires to grow. Welcome the cold shower, not as a chore, but as an arena where you prove your mind is stronger than your body's survival instincts. When you feel the urge to complain, catch yourself. Turn the complaint into a quiet thank you to the universe for providing you with a worthy opponent. You are teaching your nervous system that discomfort is not a signal to run, but an invitation to stand firm. If your happiness depends on conditions you cannot control, you are already a slave. If you commit to these practices, a profound shift will begin to occur within your chest. You will start to look at your reflection in the mirror and see someone you actually respect. You will realize that the version of you that was terrified of rejection, obsessed with comfort, and constantly seeking the approval of strangers was nothing more than a ghost of who you were meant to be. You are not fragile. You are the descendant of survivors who crossed oceans, endured brutal winters, and built civilizations out of raw stone. The blood of those who endured runs through your veins, yet you have allowed a small screen and a soft bed to make you believe you cannot handle reality. When you embrace voluntary discomfort, you reclaim your ancestry. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances, and you start seeing yourself as the architect of your own character. You realize that the external world can take away your possessions, your reputation, and even your physical health, but it can never touch your ability to choose how you respond. You become the master of your own soul. The choice is yours. You can return to the warm, sedated sleep of your daily comforts, or you can step into the cold, clear light of self-mastery. Do not wait for life to break you before you decide to become strong. Initiate the struggle on your own terms. Forge your mind now so that when the real storms of life arrive, you will not merely survive them, you will welcome them as old friends. And remember, this is only the threshold of what your mind is truly capable of enduring. There is a deeper, even more critical truth about your inner strength that remains hidden, waiting to be unlocked. Stand firm, seek the hard path, and let the fire of your character burn through the coldness of this world.